Here we go, though, to 5 red lights for the sprint here in Belgium. Fully wet, and it's going to be lights out and away we go. And I think Jay Snowy did, not Jay Snowy, Tixie did get a pretty good start. I think Jay Snowy is actually going to already make a move on the Haas, down the inside going into turn 1. And the Ogre will be wheel to wheel. And I think Jay Snowy has got the better traction and gets up into P2. Cassie will just have to try and follow them in P2. But Techby is just clinging onto the back of the Haas, waiting to make a move. Might even try and make it going down into Les Combes. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. A few drivers there going off the track as they try and get the traction through Eau Rouge and Radion, and now as you go onto the Kemmel Straight, Jay Snowy might even look to try and take the lead here. Going into Les Combes, Jay Snowy down the inside of their teammate. It's going to be wheel to wheel as they go through turn 8, and down the inside, Tixie just holds it. Jay Snowy will have to hold in P2. Techby did get the move on Cassie, so is Neb as well in the Ferrari, and now Josh is going to try and make their move on Cassie on the Haas down the inside into turn 10. And has he got the position? Yes, he has. And now the two Haas drivers now going side by side. And I think Cassie just has to give Sleek the move there. I don't know where Zalagi is through the spray going into Pouon. And I think he's just going to hold position. But he does have a front wing there. As we see Power, I think that was going very wide there. Actually, it might have been FIFA's. And as we now go down into campus, there's going to be a RB there who's going to try to send down the inside of the Aston Martin. And the Aston Martin goes deep. And Tylo does get the lead. It'll be interesting to see what Neb can do with Sleek. Does go around the outside of Josh, and if Sleek can do that, that would have been an excellent move, and he has. That was an excellent move by the Haas driver, and Tylo now going side by side with Zalagi. I don't know where they are because of the spray behind them, and it's going to be Tylo around the outside. Might even try and get a move on Cassie as well, but doesn't get the move on the Haas, but gets the move on the Sauber, and now he's going to be preparing to try and catapult himself into the P7 position if he can get the move going into the Kemmel Straight and into Les Combes. As we look up at the pack, though, I think Sleek there is going to be making a move on Neb, so maybe those inters for Neb aren't really working to the best of his abilities. The Haas sends it down the inside and gets into P3 at the moment.
Yeah, he's sliding a lot sometimes through the corners, but I think he really has a good setup. He doesn't have too many problems.
Oh, it's Jay Snowy goes very wide there. Yeah, sorry to cut in there. And he's going to be overtaken by Techby as well. And Neb might even try and fancy a move on Jay Snowy going into the bus stop chicane as Jay Snowy has lost all of that momentum going wide there. But Jay Snowy, I think, just having that slipstream off Techby, has just been able to defend himself a little bit off Neb in the charging Ferrari. As Tylo now loses a place to Cassie, as I think Tylo did get the move there, but Cassie retakes it down the inside. And there was a move further back the order as well, as we see Reese and Toby trying to go side by side there in the foreground as well. Powell getting a move on Zalagi. But as we go into turn 1, Reese is getting really swallowed by a lot of cars there. And he's going to be side by side with one of them. And it's going to be FIFA's who just has to slot in behind. And Reese has lost quite a bit of time there going through turn 1. As we look up the front, Josh is going to be able to get the move on Neb, so probably Neb picking those inters isn't really the best strategy, and Neb is really going to be feeling the effect of those, but maybe later on in the race, if it does clear up, Neb might be on the better tyre. But hold on, the two Ferraris here are going to go wheel to wheel into turn 10. And the Ferrari fans are not going to be liking this as you see two Ferrari drivers going side by side into the tricky corners in fully wet conditions. Neb has bottomed out on the curb, goes very wide out of no name and has lost 2 positions in the process. Might even lose a third, but I think Power is just a bit too far back and cannot pressurize Neb going into turn 12. As we see a few more fastest laps being made, and one of them was Neb, who does have the full lap time now and goes down the inside of Cassie into turn 1. And that was a really nice move by Neb, and will have the benefit of slipstream off their teammate Josh in P5. Down at the back there, it's going to be a Mercedes and Sauber fighting. Tom Oz on the inside, Mabulech on the outside. Is any driver going to back down? They're going to go side by side through Eau Rouge, up through Radion. A little bit of a slide there from Tom Oz around the outside. That was some really close racing. They maintain it side by side though Fantastic racing, and it's going to be a drag race effectively down into Les Combes. Is it going to be Thomas? Is it going to be Mabulesh? Mabulesh sends it down the inside into turn 7, gets the move, but washes out a little bit. Thomas cuts the curb a little bit, gets a 3-second in the process, has a little bit of a tap with the Sauber, but now going into turn 10, it's still going to be side by side by these two. None of these drivers trying to give it anything between these two, but they are fighting for P18 and P19. But Mabulesh having a little tap with Thomas around the exit of turn 10, which gives Thomas the place in P18, but Mabulesh is going to send this back down the inside going into P1. And they are still going to maintain it side by side in this wet weather. This is fantastic racing. Oh, Mabulesh gets a little tap from Thomas, and that half spins him, and Thomas keeps P18. Red Bull reacting to that virtual safety car. Having said that as well, Neb has also got past their own teammates and is chasing down Jay Snowy, and you can just see the amount of power he has in that Ferrari and just breezes past. And Neb can really set his sights. Are the inters now actually working for Neb? Is it inter conditions? And if that dry line is forming, then it might actually be inter conditions as Techby gets a massive snap of oversteer there as they were side by Neb. Neb gets the place onto the podium positions in the sprint. Techby down to P5, getting overtaken by Carsey and drops down to P6. Always Neb has got the move on Sleek going into turn 12 P1. I didn't see that happening, so I wasn't really spectating that, but that is Neb up into P2, and there's only one driver between him and the win, which is Tixi in the Alpine in P1, currently 1.2 seconds leading, but Neb is really chasing down that gap, or it might be down this next straight if Neb burns all of his battery, and he does have the battery to burn, and you can see he pulls to the inside of the Alpine already, and he's already going to be wheel to wheel and into Blanchimont. Is it going to be Neb in front? Although they are going to maintain it wheel to wheel through here, very tricky corner to go side by side, and Neb just pull back into the slipstream. Is he going to try to send into the bus stop chicane? No, he doesn't. He will stay behind, and he will just get that slipstream going into turn 1, and I think he might just stay behind to get that slipstream into Les Combes. But is Neb going to potentially make for, try and send for a move here going into turn 1? Yes, he does, down the inside of Tixi, wheel to wheel through the corner and onto the exit as well. Good space left by both drivers, a little bit of contact though, but as we now go through into Eau Rouge and Radion, Tixi just holds it around the outside, and he is going to stay in front, but Neb has the slipstream as we go into Les Combes. Now can Neb get this move to get into the lead of the sprint? He's going to be burning all the way into the corner, and he now pushes to the inside to try ascend here. Is he going to be latest on the brakes? He is going to be latest on the brakes. Tixi can't really do anything to defend it around the outside, and Neb gets in front to take the lead of the race. Matthew May getting past Jordan there on the straight as well. Oh, and the Red Bull gets very close to making contact with the McLaren there, but isn't able to. The Red Bull might even try a send a move going into turn 10 here, as the McLaren didn't really have the best of exits. And the Red Bull is going to send it down the inside of the McLaren here. And is he going to be able to get in front going onto the exit? Yes, he does. Good move by Jordan around the inside of turn 10. But Techby is looking really close to Carsey, and he is going to pull to the outside. A bit of contact between the two drivers. He's going to be latest on the brakes, and Techby swings it around the outside. And that was an excellent move by the McLaren driver in his home GP to take P5 in the sprint. Is it going to be Sleek? Is it going to be Tixi as Josh gets another 3-second penalty? And as we now prepare for the bus stop chicane, Tixi is slowly running out of ERS. Sleek goes off the track there, gets a 3-second penalty in doing so, which has probably just ruined his chances into the bus stop chicane. Sleek does get the move, but he isn't going to win it on track though, as Neb wins the race with the fastest lap as well. He will start on pole position, but Tixi gets P2 with Sleek's penalty, and Sleek will start in P3 on the grid for the feature race. Jay Snowy, the Alpine TP, will finish in P4. Techby will then finish in P5, and Carsey will start in P6. Josh Rose will start in P7, and Tyler will finish in P8. Reese will start in P9, and Zalagi, the Sauber TP, just making it into the points paying position for the sprint, will start in P10. And it's go, go, go for the Belgium Grand Prix. I think Neb did get a pretty good start there. Sleek is going to try and send one down the inside of the Alpine. The two Alpines there ghosted though, and Sleek does get the move into P2. There's a spin there at the back for, I believe that's FIFA's in the Williams. as we now go down the Kemmel Straight or into Eau Rouge and Radion. Who is going to be the driver that's going to be coming out best on this? It's still Neb leading the race on the soft tyres, Sleek on the mediums, Tixie on the hards, and that is pretty much it for the top 6. As you see Techby getting past Tixie there and into Les Combes. I think Techby is just going to try and hold it in P5, but he's going to go side by side with Tixie in the Alpine. Round the outside he goes, and is he going to be able to get it? Tixie forces him off a little bit, loses 1, 2 and 3 places there. And as we now go down into the next corner, Josh is going to try his look down the inside of Tixie, gets the move as well, but they all get through there pretty much unscathed. And down the side there, or down the back there, that is Techby trying to hold it around the inside of Reese, but isn't able to get it. Techby drops down to P9 on this opening lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. And as we now look back up at the top, I don't think there's any moves really being made as Neb is able to keep the lead of the race, currently 5 tenths behind them. Thomas and Matthew May losing a place there, and that is Carsey in the wall there, who had a pretty good sprint, but that has just come crashing down as he now finds himself in P19. Powell making a move, Reese making a move on Techby making a move on Reese, as Techby tries to claw back some of his positions that he did lose, and really no other places being made. As FIFA's got a broken front end plate. I think he has. Yeah, the front right is off for the Williams, and because of that, he spins going into Les Combes. I think that's Wizzy Boy. Oh, Wizzy Boy has had a massive spin there. And I think I saw a little bit of debris there falling off possibly. There definitely is debris on the outside there as Wizzy Boy crashes into the wall and loses his front right end plate as well. But I want to see if Jay Snowy, who has actually got up into P2, I don't know when Jay Snowy got that, can get past Neb. And you can just see with the DRS, which we now have obviously on the Kemmel Straits, as we are now in dry conditions, Jay Snowy just breezes past and gets himself up into P1, takes the lead of the race. Tixie gets past Jordan as well, as Toby, I think, Mabule just had a spin there. Loses his front right end plate as well. Loads of drivers getting some damage there, as Tylo now gets a 3-second penalty as well already. As we do have a VSC, as I think that might have been FIFA's that might have caused that by retiring on track, going into the home straight.
No. FIFA's actually retired in the pits. I think it was Miller in the first chicane. I think he had some incident with Wizzy Boy. And people are pitting now. Lots of people. Is
this Josh's win, or Josh's lead, potentially coming to a close now as Tixie pulls to the inside and gets past the Ferrari? Tixie now in the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Techby really needs to try and get past Tomoz because he is being pretty much just delayed with that Mercedes in front, and that Mercedes is doing everything to try and hold up Techby. Although Tomoz might not be in this fight, he is really helping out that top 3 by trying to keep Techby behind and trying to stop that charge. And Techby is trying everything to get past this Mercedes, and he is going to be very hot-headed inside of that McLaren as he is trying to get past this Mercedes, and this Mercedes is just not giving up. But Techby has finally been dispatched over Tomoz, so is Matthew May as well, so some good teamwork there by the McLarens, and Thomas finds himself in P10. Josh has been able to retake Tixie to get into the lead of the race, but I want to see if Jay Snowy is going to get past Alagi, and I don't really think it is a question, as he has already got past. So has Neb as well. Is Sleek really close enough to make the move? No, he isn't. Sleek has to stay behind, but Jay Snowy and Neb have been dispatched from behind that kick Sauber. He might try and make a move going into turn 10. Yes, he does, down the inside on the fresher hards. And I have to say that was a pretty easy move, but it didn't look that easy, I'm sure, driving as Sleek there. But Neb will have that DRS on Jay Snowy. Jay Snowy not really burning, doesn't have the DRS, and has Neb actually controlled that quite nicely. He goes down the inside and gets the move on Jay Snowy, and he is now in a podium P3, but net P1 of the Belgian Grand Prix. Tixie as well is going to try and make a move on Josh. Tixie is really closed in to Josh, and round the outside he goes. Tixie takes the lead of the race, but as we spectate the back battle, and it might be Jay Snowy that will re-overtake Neb, and he will now take the net P lead of the race once again. Leave at the back there. Reese is getting under pressured by Thomas, as Thomas is getting really close there. Tyler has got past Matthew May as there's a massive crash with Reese and Thomas on the Camel Straight. But one person that is going to be close enough is going to be Neb, as he is already going down the inside of Jay Snowy and gets the place. Can Sleek potentially make the move as well? No, he can't, as he will stay in net P3. What tyres do the top two go on to, though? Tixie is about to make his pit stop. Josh goes on to the softs. Tixie goes on to the mediums. Ooh, splitting the strategies for those two pitting on the same lap. Is it maybe that Tixie didn't have a fresh set of softs yet, you know, or something like that? I don't think that would have been the issue, though, because obviously this was a fresh race start, so I'm not too sure what happened there. But Jay Snowy making the move on Neb to now take the official lead of the race. Sleek as well, just staying behind these two. This is a four-way fight for P11 here. Thomas obviously with that slight wing damage, and Mighty King is going to go down the inside of Blanchemont. If I can even speak. And he does get the move done, and now Thomas is going to be under pressure by Reese. And the McLaren tries to send it down the inside, but the Mercedes sends it down the inside of the Williams. And now Reese gets a move as well, as they nearly go full wide into turn one. What is happening here? Thomas is going to be absolutely swallowed by these. And he's going to go down the inside of Reese. Reese around the outside. The McLaren of Matthew May trying to get in on this as well. Reese around the outside of the Mercedes. Reese gets the place. And now it's going to be Matthew May's turn to get the move on Thomas as we go into the Camel Straight. Always there's a bit of contact there with the Mercedes, but they still manage to keep it clean. But Thomas back up into P12, has the DRS. Can he make the move on the Williams as Reese tries to go down the inside of the Mercedes once again? 3 wide, nearly into Lecom, and Reese gets the move on Thomas. Thomas gets a little bit of a tank slapper, as I think Matthew May probably tapped the back of the Mercedes. Mighty King goes off the track there. And Matthew May is going to try to go down the inside of the Mercedes going into turn 10. And he has got that wheel there. Slight slap of oversteer. And so does the Mercedes as well. But the Mercedes stays in P12 at the moment. Matthew May P13. And Mighty King in P14. Thomas going to go down the inside into P1 on the Aston Martin. Can't get the wheel there. Once again, Matthew May having a little bit of contact with the Mercedes. And I think Mighty King at the back there might try a send on the McLaren as they go into campus. And round the outside, he isn't able to get the move though. This battle for P11 is seriously heating up. I've been saying that word quite a lot, but seriously it has. Matthew May once again down the inside of the Mercedes. Honestly, this battle is even better than the battle for the top spot at the moment. There's 4 cars involved in this. Neb once again taking the lead. Sleek finally makes his move into P2 as they go into Lecom. But once again, Matthew May trying to go down the inside of the Aston Martin. Can't get the move. Thomas once again making the switchback on the McLaren. Can't get that move though. But Matthew May trying to go down the outside of Reese as we go into turn 1. And is Matthew May going to be able to stay in P1 as they go into the corner? No, he isn't. Thomas once again down the inside of one of them is going to try and get the move on Reese as well. I'll tell you what, Thomas is doing quite a nice job despite that front wing end plate damage. But he is trying to put up a fight for it as Matthew May nearly goes side by side with Reese as they go into Eau Rouge and Radion. And now it's going to be a drag race into Lecom. Again, Thomas down the inside trying to make the move on Reese. 4 wide it might be into Lecom. Not really though, but Thomas still down the inside. But Reese just holds it with the better downforces. Now he taps the Mercedes. The Mercedes goes deep. So does Reese as well. And Matthew May, Mighty King break free. But Thomas and Reese are now going to be behind each other. And Reese goes down the inside of the Mercedes. A little bit of payback. It's the Aston Martin that spins around. And Thomas is still going to stay in P13. And as we go on to the Camel Straight, it might be Sleek now taking the lead of the race. And it is going to be Sleek now leading. And even Jay Snowy is going to try for it as well. Down the inside he goes on the Ferrari. And Jay Snowy now in P2. Oh, Matthew May has spun though. Oh, and that brings out a safety car. Oh, safety car here late on in the race. Who's going to react? Is Sleek going to react? I think we're going to see everyone in the pits. Yes, Sleek comes in, Jay Snowy comes in, Neb in, Techaby in, Tixie out. Tixie doesn't come in. Josh reacts, even though he is on the soft tyres, but a good call. And I think Power will come in as well. Everyone is going to react to this and come into the pits. But when is Tixie going to go? It's going to be out the final corner, possibly. No, he's still going to hold them up. He's going to leave it late, and now he has gone. And has he caught Sleek napping a little bit, as Jay Snowy is going to try and get the move on Sleek, but going into turn 1, he's going to go round the outside. Sleek going down the inside of Tixie, and Tixie does have that less tyre wear, and Tixie just holds on at the moment, but Sleek is going to have that massive DRS down the Erosion Radion. Jay Snowy following really closely as we now go onto the straight, onto the Kemmel straight, and Tixie is going to pull to the outside. Sleek has the inside, and it's going to be 5 wide, pretty much at the back there. Sleek just can't make the move as Jay Snowy goes around the ends outside. Like you're saying, the Alpine playing the team game. Jay Snowy in the lead. There's a massive crash there at the back, and I think that was Zalagi involved in that, as Techaby into P3, Tixie in P2, Josh into P4, Pal P5, but it's going to be under pressure by Neb, who is going down the inside, around the outside of No Name. Reese keeps the position, but Sleek has dropped down a lot of places into P10 for him. So Tixie has played that team game like you were saying. Jay Snowy in the lead by 1.2 seconds, and Tixie is going to try and hold back Techaby, who's going to go down the inside of Campus, round the outside into the left-hander, and Tixie has a massive snap there, and they've both gone off. And I think Tixie might have some damage there, but Josh now into P2 for the Ferrari debutant. Does Tixie have some damage? Yes, he does. He goes into the pits. He's done his work for Alpine, but he is going to have a lot of work to do, as he's going to drop down to the back of the pack, and he has actually just retired from the race. Now as we go on to the final lap, it is going to be Jay Snowy leading the race by 1.4 seconds. Pow is only 8 tenths behind Josh, but Neb is only 3 tenths behind, and we will have DRS enabled for this final lap. Is it going to be Neb, or is it going to be Pow? Could Toby even make an impact on this, being from P5? But here we go, onto the Kemmel straight. Pow is catching up to Josh. Neb is catching up. There's going to be 3 wide of the back where they're with Techaby, Reese and Mighty King. And Reese, sorry. And it's going to be Reese just momentarily in the lead, but Techaby's going to hold it down the inside into turn 8, into turn 9. Reese keeps P6. Pow and Neb stay as well in their respective positions, so it's going to be a Ferrari 2-4. Pow will stay in P3 with Jay Snowy taking the lead. Mighty King gets the overtake on Thomas, but Thomas down the inside into No Name, gets into P8 but has a massive snap, but Mighty King is going to be under pressure by Zalagi, Matthew May and Tylo going into the final few laps. Sleek is in P9 at the moment, Thomas in P8, and Mighty King is just going to try and keep Zalagi behind as they can, but Sleek trying to go down the inside of Thomas as we go into Campus, but Thomas holds P8 at the moment. Final battle of the dust here though, as Neb is going to try everything to try and get past Pow. We've got one more corner left. Can Neb do it? He's going to burn absolutely everything, and so is Pow. And Neb is going to go down the inside into Blanchimont on Pow. And is it going to be a Ferrari 2-3? Yes, it is. And that is going to be a really good move for Neb if he can keep that. But we're going to look at Jay Snowy, who is going to come across the line to take the win here at the Belgium Grand Prix. Jay Snowy wins the Belgium Grand Prix. Josh with the fastest lap finishes in P2. Neb with P3. So a good double Ferrari podium there as they try and continue their push to the top of the OCC. Pow will then finish in P4. Toby will finish in P5 for Mercedes. Aston Martin with Reese in P6. So good points there for Aston Martin as well. Techaby in the McLaren finishes in P7 with Sleek in P8, really dropping due to that, contact into Lecom. Mighty King for Williams finishes in P9 with Zalagi in P10. So again, finish the sprint in 10. He will finish the race in P10. Thomas making up a pretty good recovery drive there from P19 to finish in P11. But obviously Toby started from P12, has finished in P5 as well. Matthew May finishes in P12 for McLaren as well. Tylo in P13. And then Tixie, who unfortunately DNF'd into the final few laps, will finish in P14. Wizzyboy P15. Jordan P16. Mabulech P17. FIFA's P18. And then Carsey in P19.